Today on Great Places Seen, we keep a lookout for wild ponies in the field, falling objects from the sky, and local flavors of the Delmarva. Don't let the weight get your goat. Walk this way and come along for the ride.
Good morning from Pokomoke. I am not much of a morning person, so for me this is a bit of an unusual sight to see me out so early in the morning. But today we're going to head down to Chincoteague and see if we can find some ponies. Let's go.
Hopefully today I have the dash cam set correctly. We'll soon find out as we roll out of beautiful Pokomoke River State Park and its long, lush, and leafy tree-lined entrance. Maryland's eastern shore has its ubiquitous scenery, huge expanses of soybean fields, corn, pockets of woodland, and oh yes, always local police speed traps. Yesterday's route was about 35 miles to see the world's largest rubber duck in Crisfield. Today it's about the same distance the other way, hoping to see wild ponies. A quick stop for some maps and info. They always come in handy. Very friendly inside, too. This is U.S. Route 13, a very short part of a 518-mile stretch between Fayetteville, North Carolina, and just above Philadelphia. It also runs the north-south length of Delaware. Virginia Route 175 is also called Chincoteague Road. And yes, it's rocket science here. Also a lot of wetlands along Shelley Bay, New Virginia Cove, and Queenside Channel. On the Chincoteague Island map, you'll see a marking for Pony Swim. There is in fact a lane there, although it's a private drive, and if you're not here on that one day in late July, you won't see them. About 200 ponies are brought to Chincoteague where they make the short swim back to their home on Assateague Island. We'll get a better view from a nearby park. The century-old pony swim tradition was made famous by Marguerite Henry's Misty of Chincoteague. It started after 2 fires burned out of control. The volunteer fire department was determined not to let that happen again, so in July 1925, wild ponies from Assateague were rounded up and auctioned. It was so successful that Pony Penning Day became an annual tradition. Most of the time, this area is filled with boaters, fishermen, and an RV campground is here. Today, the ponies receive a vet checkup, make a beach walk along the Atlantic Ocean, and then take their swim with thousands of spectators watching. Lots of brightly painted homes and boutique motels. More touristy attractions are on the main road leading to the national seashore. It's really good to have a pass, right through, even on a hot, busy beach day. First stop, ponies. Lighthouse parking is full. We'll try that later before it closes. Well, this is kind of like Where's Waldo? Can you spot the horses? There they are, grazing in the marsh about a half-mile away. I'm scanning around, but I don't see any more at the moment. Lots of birds everywhere. To try a different vantage point. Tall pine trees, this is about the only shady spot on the trail. Nope, we've got this all to ourselves here. There's nobody else here. Still, they're about the same distance away. No one knows how the ponies came here. One legend says they swam ashore from shipwrecked Spanish galleons. Others say their origins date to the 17th century, when local farmers used Assateague Island as a natural corral for their animals. No matter their origins, the ponies have adapted well and are quite at home here. As others join the herd, they're not too interested in wandering this way, so it's back on the woodland trail.
That's Chincoteague Island in the distance. This one met a bit of a violent end.
That's the South Pony Corral. There's a North Corral, too. The beach and visitor center are very close. Birds love this. High tides flood the mudflats and salt marshes with bay water. Scattered throughout the wetlands are small depressions that trap water when the tide goes out. And these little pools have small fish and other aquatic organisms that become an endless buffet for birds and other wildlife. The area is also full of cordgrass, which provides shelter, feeding, nesting, and also predator hunting grounds. And under the mud you'll find mussels, oysters, and clams. Of course, there are lots of this area's famous blue crabs scavenging underwater. Foul weather shelter. Well, we're not talking waterfowl either. The old Coast Guard station is over there. It operated from 1922 until 1967. It was used to look out for smugglers and enemy ships during wartime and others in distress. The beach is packed. The visitor center appears empty. Well, you can guess where I'm headed. Inside is some of what you may see outside. Look, it's a bivalve. It has nice boardwalks through the marsh, and the visitor center itself sits atop pilings. The lighthouse beckons, and as in the rest of the national seashore, it's not far. It stands 142 feet tall and is 27 feet in diameter at its base. The light is 154 feet high, and its double flashing light can be seen about 20 miles away. This version of the lighthouse was completed in 1867, replacing an earlier one from 1833. is no elevator, you've got to climb 198 stairs, but there are windows along the way that you can look out while you take a break. If the stairs didn't take your breath away, the view from atop will. 360 degrees of water, trees, and wetlands. Well, it was 198 stairs to the top, but it's worth it. The views are amazing. That's the Atlantic Ocean. And yes, the beach is still full. Windy, too. There's where the ponies live. There's where the RVs live, and where the ponies swim. You may ask, why is the lighthouse so far away from the ocean? Well, it originally was on the southern edge of the island. But over the years, currents added several miles of shoreline, stranding the lighthouse farther and farther from the open water. Its original candle light has long since been replaced with high-power automated lights that are focused, magnified, and projected by a large Fresnel lens. You even get a sticker for climbing all those stairs and making it back down. The red and white paint is from the 1960s. While we're here, let's make one last check to see if the ponies decided to graze a little closer to the road. Nope, they're very content to stand their ground a good distance away. Time to drive a good distance away in search of local produce for dinner. Ponies are definitely the motif here. You have to like a farm stand that grows its own produce and has a big variety from other local growers. Leaving Virginia and its cigarettes and fireworks. No such roadside stands in Maryland. The afternoon light and shadows set the mood for a good fire, a good meal, and watching night descend over camp. Tonight there's a special show overhead. It's the peak of the annual Perseid meteor shower. This year the moon is not out, so a dark sky hopefully will reveal an impressive display. Plenty of time to relax before taking a look. Down at the pier, waiting for some thin clouds to drift past. Most of those streaks are planes, but there are a few small meteor streaks in there. Ooh, there's a good one. It was a good show this year. It's moving day. Campers are packing up and heading out. Checkout isn't until 1. We're milking all the time we have here. Well, and everyone is pretty much cleared out already. We're going to be the last ones standing, which is fine. It's a great park to be in. First, a short walk along a swampy park trail. Well, you can download all of the state park trails or state forest trails just using the QR code, but this QR code is a little funny. It's got a dinosaur in the middle, so that's unique. Well, it's definitely a swamp back in here. These little roots sticking up, this is very indicative of swamp. And as you might expect, a swamp trail has some bugs. We forgot the bug spray. Is that a birdhouse? No, as I'll realize on the way back. This trail is actually long, over 12 miles, but this walk may be just about a half mile each way. watch for the spider webs on the trail. You walk right into them without even knowing it. So, this turns out it's a trail counter to help park officials assess usage. Let's take a last loop around the park and the river. This is really the best spot to see the Perseid meteor shower. Very wide open sky, dark, and almost no bugs last night. Plus these long benches, they're great to lay down on, just look straight up at the night sky, so it was a good spot. Thanks, Pokomoke River State Park. This was a nice stay. I had a few drops of oil under the car, but it was just a little seeping around the drain plug. Now that everything's tight, everything looks good. The local produce from yesterday was so good, I'm going off-road to take more home. Yes, off-road. Now I've got a short but tricky climb out to get back on the highway. One last car to go by. Yes, no problem. And up to speed pretty fast. The ride home is by way of the Chesapeake Bay Bridge. Because it's the only way across for most beachgoers, the bridge becomes a weekly traffic choke point on summer weekends. While it's slow, today is not as bad as I've seen. Sometimes it's a virtual standstill for hours. Pro tip, stay to the right when going westbound. Oh, that's a nice boardwalk bike path over there. Onto the bridge, a 4.3-mile span that is actually a few different kinds of bridges all together. The design includes a cantilever bridge, continuous truss bridge, and suspension bridge. The original bridge was built in sections, then floated by barges into place. Each section with super tight tolerances that had to line up perfectly. And they did! Suspension sections are the visually iconic of the Bay Bridge. The newer westbound span tops out at 379 feet high, with the vehicle deck at only about 200 feet above water. Yeah, only. Yes, it makes some drivers nervous, especially at some points where you can literally look almost straight down. If the weather gets too bad, that is with sustained winds over 55 miles per hour, the bridge will close until conditions improve. Depending on traffic or bridge maintenance, you could find yourself driving on either span in either direction. Most of the time, it's a nice ride across. The large, graceful bend on the western end was to ensure the bridge left perpendicular to the shoreline, an engineering standard for the first span in 1952. For some drivers, this may be their favorite part of crossing the Bay Bridge. I'm sure some nervous drivers wish crossing the bridge would go this fast. Okay, a tiny world view. Had to do it. It's a cool bridge. US Route 50 continues west, all the way to Sacramento, California. Fortunately, it's not that far to return the trailer to storage. Thank you for watching and sharing this adventure. Be sure to follow GPS to the next destination.